Hey Dumplings, it's Dave Decide. Today I want to get into J-Hope and IU's new collaboration, and some people are bringing up IU and I definitely have some thoughts. I also want to get into a date posted by a company and the BTS comeback sort of. So later or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Grab a dumpling, a tea-spilling mug merch, and let's get into it. The first thing I need to talk about is what date was recently posted and is not being heavily talked about. So first off, we have so much BTS content coming out, and of course I'm not upset. I wish there was even more coming out. My concern, which is a bit of a catch-22, is I feel like every moment that is coming out isn't getting a big enough spotlight for what it deserves. Even though I want more to come out, I feel like there were parts of J-Hope's comeback that was overshadowed by the left and right Charlie Puth and Jung Kook video. And I feel like maybe the Bad Decisions song is overtaking another release that no one is really talking about. I've seen maybe 2 or 3 stories on this. So BTS will release their collab with Benny Blanco on August 5th, and this is called Bad Decisions. And I believe the teaser and stuff is already out. This is exciting, and the coverage has mainly been around this. It was also announced that Samsung will release a BTS video on August 10th, which gives maybe 4 or 5 days of breathing room for Bad Decisions to get the full spotlight, and then the spotlight moves on to the Samsung video. So basically, ARMYs only have a few days to stream uninterrupted before they have to stream another thing. I mean, I've said this before, being an ARMY is a full-time job. Samsung is not announcing a full new song, but it was reported that allegedly BTS will have yet to come, but a new foldable version of this song. This is to go with Samsung's new line of foldable phones. I guess the video could be reshot or re-edited to fit a format on a foldable screen. So basically, if you're unaware, videos on YouTube need to be re-edited to fit apps like TikTok or whatever. You can just upload something from YouTube to TikTok, but it won't fit natively within the app. And when people scroll on the For You page and it's vertical video and suddenly it's a horizontal video, it's quite jarring and people ultimately won't watch that video. But Samsung is smart, because if they plan on using Yet to Come as part of their phone marketing, then it would make perfect sense that they need to have the song fit their phones, and so everything looks really good either on the ads or when users go to the Samsung store and try it out. I am assuming the video will be played on the devices in the store. Now, as I said, few news sites covered this, so I don't know if it's 100% true yet, but I think this is exciting as ARMYs have not seen BTS together in a while officially, and this is something that people will look forward to. I would imagine the video would be posted on YouTube. I'm curious what a foldable video looks like and what the format would be. Companies are aware that video is like the new gold, and they're all trying to innovate and do all sorts of new things with video. And what is foldable video and why would it make the viewing experience better? It may or may not, but I am definitely curious what is to happen on the 10th. So mark your calendars. I love when BTS collabs with brands because you get very new and innovative content, but also stuff that you would never think BTS could possibly be a part of. If you told me that during their debut that BTS was going to work with Samsung, first off, I didn't know BTS then, so I'd probably be like, who? But once I'd find out, I'd be like a K-pop group as ambassadors of a global brand. I'd be so shocked. But BTS has done so much with Samsung, and not just selling the phones, but them and the brand causing social change. BTS often likes to work with artists as well, and since J-Hope had his comeback, he has been promoting and doing his best to get the album out. The promotion seems a lot less than what I would hope, but this is normal. When a group decides to do solo work, the PR team kind of struggles here a little bit. It's hard to explain, but I will try to explain what I believe is the issue. BTS as a group can literally get and be on any TV show they want. Any TV show would be so lucky and happy to have them. However, when the group members decide to do their own thing, those same TV stations or media outlets don't really think the individual member could bring as much ratings as the entire group, so they often dismiss the individual member. This, whether you choose to believe or not, does happen a lot. So J-Hope in turn hasn't been getting as much press, interviews as I would like to see. But he did go on a specific show that got everyone very excited. Famous solo singer IU has a show called Palette, and it's basically a talk show that she has created and invites several really famous artists to the show and talks to them. She also usually sings a duet with them. And IU decided to invite J-Hope to the show. IU and J-Hope did sing a song together, and they sang J-Hope's song Equal Sign. That sounded absolutely beautiful. People were hoping for an official version to be released or for an official collab with IU. This can definitely happen. I think she has already worked with Suga, and that song sounded so good, so it's definitely possible. However, for now, you can definitely go to the interview, cut out the Equal Sign performance, and then download that as a version of the song with IU. I think IU should have been featured on the track officially. I really like this version. I think her voice is so beautiful on it. There were some funny moments of this show. IU asked why J-Hope didn't invite her to his listening party, and J-Hope responded that he simply didn't know how. The caption labeled that J-Hope was just making an excuse. I think maybe he just just forgot. And that's unfortunate, but definitely okay. I don't think he dislikes IU at all. No one dislikes her. But I do feel like she is very underrated and often forgotten. IU seemed to be a little jealous that she didn't get invited, and boy, you are not alone. We're all jealous. Strange how J-Hope wouldn't invite me, his husband. It's a little rude, but I'll forgive him. But it seemed like the entire music industry was there. Anyone who is anyone in K-pop was invited, so I can see why IU might have been a little upset she didn't get an invite. But maybe the next one. I would love to see BTS x IU moments. IU and Jung Kook were both being brought up after this interview with J-Hope. You might be wondering why, or maybe not, but when IU and BTS are brought up, Jung Kook will ultimately get dragged into the conversation. Back a little while ago, an interviewer asked Jung Kook who his celebrity crush is, or who he looks up to, and Jung Kook responded that he is inspired by IU and has a crush on her. This was one of the only times, I think even until now, that Jung Kook has said he admired someone or liked someone that he could actually have a possibility of dating, and this idea that IU and Jung Kook were secretly dating. But then there were moments where you saw Jung Kook at award shows literally walk away when he ran into IU, and people were hoping that the two would talk. I think at that point Jung Kook knew what was being said online and just didn't want them to get bigger, and maybe even regret saying IU's name. I think IU is very beautiful, and who wouldn't have a crush? But I also think that when you're put on the spot during an interview, you just kind of blurt out a name. If you had to stand in front of the class and say a celebrity crush, you'd probably just say whoever if you didn't have one. But either way, after this interview with J-Hope and IU, Jung Kook's name was being brought up, and there were people saying that he must be punching the air that Jung Kook is not being interviewed with IU, or that he is upset or jealous. But this is redonkulous to think. IU was probably just the name that he blurted out, and even if it wasn't, this likely is not someone who he has a huge crush on anymore, as this was someone he mentioned ages ago, and we typically phase out of our childhood crush. But it was interesting because Jung Kook was being made fun of by people saying that he is probably attacking J-Hope, and then others sending IU hate for some reason, and some of it might just be because her name is being brought up next to Jung Kook. People on Twitter were even asking both their names to be censored just so that it doesn't appear when you type up either idol's name. But this is so insane to think. Do I think Jung Kook got emotional when he heard about the collab? No. Did he get emotional when Suga worked with her? Also, if Jung Kook really wanted to meet IU and have a conversation with her over coffee, you think he couldn't organize that with his team? Probably would have happened. And maybe Jung Kook would have organized a formal collab, but he didn't want to do it. But what do you think? Are you upset over the potential backlash of IU and BTS? Why do you think Jungkook keeps getting brought up? And are you over the jokes that are made about the two? How do you feel about IU, J-Hope, and the song collab? And of course, are you excited for the foldable video that might come out on August 10th with Samsung? Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos, link down below. I think it says lovely comment right here. Love you, bye.